But yeah, I was watching She-Hulk actually this past weekend, the first episode, and I'm like, the CGI isn't. It's okay, man. It's not really cutting it for me.
Yeah, the budget is probably not as good for this show. You know, they probably just threw something together really quick. But Bruce looks good.
Yeah,
Hulk looks good.
I'm just gonna let everyone know who's listening right now who haven't watched She-Hulk that's on Disney Plus. There's gonna be a lot of spoilers because we already watched the first episode, but go ahead and check it out, She-Hulk on Disney Plus.
Yeah. What do you like? Did you enjoy the first episode?
It was it was entertaining. I'll give you that. It's entertaining. The way that she gained her Hulk powers, I was like, all right, come on. That's
they
a
did
reach.
That quick.
That's a reach.
They did that real quick, didn't they?
Oh,
it just happened so fast.
It really did. And she just started hulking out right there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the first episode was cool. I understand why people are kind of upset about all the female empowerment, but at the same time, bro, who cares? Like, well, I don't like. You don't have to watch it. Like, if you're gonna be angry at it, you knew what to expect.
I see where they were going with it.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
tell me a little bit about She-Hulk from the comics. I don't know too much about the Marvel when it comes to She-Hulk.
I never read too many of her comics specifically, but I know she was a part of Fantastic Four. She was the first character in Marvel to actually break the fourth wall. People get that mixed up with Deadpool. She was the first one to do it.
Oh, nice.
But it's really just the comic and the show is made for women. I mean, women, like, if you really think about it, women enjoy law shows. My wife loves those kind of shows, so she actually really enjoyed the first episode. And I just enjoy, because she doesn't watch a lot of the Marvel stuff with me.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that it's something I can watch with her because she likes it. So I get why some dudes are mad that it's like kind of pushing women empowerment or that whatever. But at the same time, bro, you don't have to watch it. Just like you don't have to read the comic. Like,
I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm okay with them pushing the woman empowerment thing. I mean, it's to be expected. I didn't like the way they made the Hulk seem like a punk. Like they made.
I don't think he was trying. I think that's the thing people get mixed up. He could have destroyed her, in that fight. But it's kind of like they're like really good. Like cousins, they're cousins.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't want to beat the crap out of my female cousin. Like, even though I probably can, I wouldn't want to do it. I mean, growing up as a kid, I was close to a lot of my female cousins, and we would get into fights and stuff. But it's like, that's family.
No,
and I saw one dude say that he didn't like the way.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
it's just to me, it's just I didn't like the way they made him seem. But I did realize that he was holding back. I mean, he didn't want to hurt her. She was new to being a Hulk, and the Hulk is super powerful. So I mean, I understand, that sentiment.
I mean, if people really have a serious problem with how they made Hulk seem in this movie, I mean, I felt that way in Endgame. So, and I felt that way in Infinity War.
So look at it this way. As they kept, So from the first Hulk movie that was in the MCU to like now, it looked like just Hulk just kind of like he became less and less of the Hulk. Like I feel like probably Ragnarok Hulk was probably the strongest, but I might be wrong. But I just me personally, I feel like he was more of like a warrior in Ragnarok. Like he was just super strong.
Yeah, they nerfed him in some movies. They nerfed him in the first Avengers. He was, I think, for me, it had to be a toss up between the Hulk from Thor Ragnarok and the Incredible Hulk from the first movie with Norton. Yeah, but they nerfed him in the first Avengers movie. So he's been getting nerfed throughout the MCU over the last decade or so. So I get it. And really, in reality, Smart Hulk is just Bruce Banner's personality.
And Bruce Banner body
isn't like a tough. Yeah, he's not a tough guy. He doesn't come off as a tough guy. That's who he is. He's not some tough guy. But like I said, I understand it. I understand why people get annoyed with it or why people feel some type of way about it. But I feel like every time it's like a female-led movie, an MCU or led show, it kind of, other than really WandaVision, and I want to say maybe Black Widow, But the Captain America, I mean not Captain America, Captain Marvel and She-Hulk get a lot of backlash for trying to push female empowerment. Like I said, man, it's not that I don't take it that serious.
It's not that big of a deal.
Like I get it.
Just watch the movie.
Yeah, it's not. Exactly.
So here more so of I'm trying to think when we talk about like the cast. Like I know they're bringing back Eli Roth to play what's his Hulk's nemesis? I can't.
Is it not the? Is it the Abomination?
Abomination. Yeah, that's what it is.
Is that the Abomination?
That's what it has to be. It's like it's like a gray version of the Hulk. It's really ugly. They're bringing him back.
I watched the second episode, by the way. So
I got you. I haven't watched the second episode. I still gotta
so I don't want to spoil it, but
take some time to watch it. But yeah, because Eli Roth was in the Incredible Hulk, the one with Edward Norton, and he's actually reprising his role, reviving that role. So he's gonna be in the show. But
yeah, like I said, people just got to give the show a chance and watch it all the way through. The first episode really pushed the female stuff and how she can control her anger because she's been going through that her whole life or whatnot. Her story is not going to be the same as Bruce. Bruce he probably always had anger problems, and had his own issues internally, but didn't know how to express it. Typically, what she said wasn't wrong. Now, all men aren't pervs. All men aren't what they try to make us seem to be.
Yeah.
But there are some men that are. So like the other day, some creep, my sister, she lives in Vegas. Some creep was trying to holler at her. My sister's literally, she was leaving work to go to her lunch break, walking to a car. And she said she's not interested. This dude walked away, got in his car, pulled back around, and still was harassing her. So it does happen to women.
Yeah, that's super creepy.
We can't act like it doesn't. Yeah, we can't act like it doesn't happen. It's not the majority, but it happens.
Yeah,
so you really can't be mad at it.
That's a tough reality too to live in. But yeah, I mean that's super. I don't know. If I were a female, I'd keep my guards up too and kind of be like, I wouldn't feel like not necessarily insecure, just feel like afraid and kind of like standoffish if I'm always being approached in that manner. So I understand.
It's kind of like a protection mechanism. I know it's probably a better term.
Defense mechanism. Yep. Yeah,
defense mechanism. In women, just because naturally men are stronger. So with me having a daughter my wife is a 2nd degree black belt. She could defend herself, but with me having a little girl, like it kind of made me realize like women are a little more vulnerable than men. Like most men will outpower most women. So I understand why women have their guards up a lot because you may not be a bad guy, right? You may not be a perv. You may not be a jerk, but every woman at least once experienced someone like that. So
yeah,
you gotta men have to sometimes just understand.
The statistic is high for that. Yeah, I completely understand.
And like I said, it's not all of us. All of us aren't like that. So
yeah, it's understandable as to why they would kind of feel like they need to be defensive. But She-Hulk. What do you expect for the season? I mean, to be honest, I really haven't been watching too many of the shows that Disney Plus has been putting out for the Marvel. I'm kind of like glancing at it.
I've watched every show so far, I've watched every show. I expect it to be some really good cameos in She-Hulk, and it's going to talk about or hint at new heroes or bringing new characters into the MCU.
Howard the Duck. They might as well.
Some people
isn't Howard the Duck part of She-Hulk? Isn't he in She-Hulk?
Probably.
You know what the thing is? It's funny. Howard the Duck was one of the first Marvel movies they produced, but not for the MCU. Like a long time.
Generally. Yeah. A lot of people don't know there's a Captain America movie that was in the 90s. I think
it's like a Thor
movie was in the 90s. Thor, all those things happened.
Yeah,
but I like Daredevil's definitely going to be in She-Hulk. They already Yeah, and some people are saying like they introduced Wolverine or hinted at Wolverine in the second episode. I didn't see it, but I have to go back and rewatch. I think the show is going to progressively get better once people get over the female empowerment stuff. They had to do that in the first episode. It's not that much in the second episode at all, but they had to do it in the first episode.
Kind of like
to set the standard.
Yeah. Kind of draw you in a little bit.
Yeah. So, like I said, I understand why men are a little upset. We don't like it getting forced down our throats or pushed in our face. But you have to understand the MCU also has to cater to a female audience.
Yeah.
So, like, I didn't like Miss Marvel that much, but I
still have not watched it. Someone told me it's more for kids, and I'm like,
yeah, that's exactly. Exactly. I didn't really enjoy it. And it was okay to me. But
like I said,
I'm not going to sit here and bash it.
I'm probably just have to watch like the quick version. When it comes to the movies, if there's going to have to be like a show that I had to have watched to understand what's going on in the movies, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to watch that quick version because to be honest, I've never been a fan of like superhero TV shows ever. Never. Not at all.
Really?
Never did Smallville, never did Gotham, never did The Punisher, never did Jessica Jones. Yeah. Whatever, the guy with the fists, that guy, never.
Iron Fist,
yeah.
Okay. The Punisher season 1 is amazing. Daredevil season 1 and season 3 are really good. Jessica Jones season 1 is one of the best superhero TV seasons ever. You're missing out, bro. You gotta go back and watch. I rewatch those at least once a year. Like seriously, all of them.
The thing is,
we watched them all this January.
The thing is with me, if it's a superhero, I want you to tell the story fast. Now I know that they're using these movies or the shows to kind of like build up the story, kind of like the characters who aren't, I'm not gonna say like lesser, but not as impactful in the MCU. They're kind of like using it to build up the story. I understand that.
Like street level heroes.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm just like, I don't know.
Technically, Spider-Man is a street level hero. He's just so popular that they put him in all these big movies.
He was pushed hard. So, I mean, his story, I know his story for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's the same thing over and over.
But I love Daredevil. Daredevil was one of my favorite characters in period. You should watch them, bro. You missing out, man. The shows. I mean, yeah. Eventually, you're going to have to understand what's going on because Ms. Marvel is directly related to the Marvels that is coming out. WandaVision is directly related to a bunch of things. Loki's directly related to everything that's about to happen in this phase.
I'll level with you like this. I did watch all of WandaVision. I did watch all of Loki, and I did watch Falcon and Winter Soldier. All of that. I watched every episode. But that's because they were more in the movies. Those characters were more in the movies. I mean, I didn't even finish Hawkeye because I'm like, all right, man. Like he really just shooting bows and arrows, man. Come on.
Honestly, people go bash me for this. Hawkeye has been my favorite Marvel show so far.
Really?
For the Disney Plus shows, just for the Disney Plus shows, not like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, but I really enjoy Hawkeye for some reason, bro. Like I can rewatch it and over and over again. A lot of people didn't like it. I just thought it had a good balance of fun, and a good balance of action. I just enjoyed it, and Hawkeye doesn't get a lot of shine in the movies, so it's good to see him in the lead role. Plus, I've always been a big fan of Kate Bishop, and I think Haley Steinfeld, I think that's her last name. She is excellent in that role, man. And I can't wait to see her and do like movies or something bigger than just a TV show.
Yeah, but just to get you on that note, as far as like the ones that I've watched, the thing that I was most disappointed about is when watching WandaVision, when the Silver, what was it? I forgot his name. The
White Vision?
No, not White Vision.
Oh, Quicksilver.
Quicksilver, yeah. When Quicksilver shows up in the end of one of those episodes, I'm like, oh shoot, they're about to do it. They're about to introduce the X-Men, and they screwed up that. They dropped that. They fouled penalty on the play. What did y'all do with that? Come on, Disney.
I think they didn't want to introduce the mutants quite yet. I think that's what it was. That had been way too early.
Then why did they do it?
Because just because they could.
Oh boy.
Honestly, just because they could.
They really got our hopes up.
Yeah, I mean, in the future, he might be Quicksilver. We don't know. Is it the multiverse? It could be.
My question is,
anything possible.
Is X-Men my favorite of anything in Marvel?
Your favorite?
Yeah.
That is your favorite?
Yes.
You're asking.
I know it's
so. It is.
Why would I ask like that? It is.
It confused me for a second.
Like X-Men, it's always been my favorite, my absolute favorite out of anything.
Yeah.
More than Spider-Man, more than Thor, Captain America, Hulk. All like X-Men is my absolute favorite.
Yeah, X-Men is kind of a cheat code because Spider-Man stands on his own. But the X-Men has so many different characters that it's just not fair. But yeah, I've always personally had a special place in my heart for the X-Men. Do you have a favorite X-Men?
Gambit.
Yeah,
Gambit's my favorite. No questions asked. I just like the way that his fighting style, the fact that his power to use kinetic energy and make things explode.
Yeah, he's badass, bro.
I know he's obviously not the strongest, but he's my favorite.
Yeah, your favorite.
Yeah, your favorite is your favorite.
Strongest man. Yeah. Growing up, my favorite was Wolverine. I always liked Wolverine, but when the movie started blowing up, everybody jumped on this bandwagon. So, I've always liked the younger characters, like Iceman, Pyro. I think that's his name.
What about Cyclops?
I've never really been a big fan of Cyclops. His powers are so annoying to me.
He's kind of a do-gooder, kind of like you really don't have no story that you like. I mean, I know he's got a backstory, but still, kind of like a punk.
His powers are incredible. Yeah. He's very strong. But I never. His powers are just weird to me. I know they're powerful, but like, damn, that sucks. You can't control your eyes, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, that's terrible. So, but he is a decent character. Nightcrawler. Yeah, I've always liked the less popular characters in X-Men. And I like the X-Men because they have a variety of different type of people, like villains and heroes. It's crazy.
To be honest,
but yeah,
X-Men is the reason why I started watching My Hero Academia, because
really,
when they described the show before it aired, when they described that it's going to be like an anime version of My Hero Academia or an anime version of X-Men. That's why I started watching. I'm like, okay, that sounds legit. I love X-Men, so that's the reason why.
That makes sense. I mean, I never thought about it like that, but I mean, My Hero is kind of like X-Men.
They all have a variety of powers. They're all like learning how to use them in school.
I mean, technically, they would be categorized as mutants.
Yeah,
because the difference. I always wondered what the difference was between a mutant and a superhero. A mutant was born with. In Marvel, a mutant was technically born with their powers. You think about it, because the Fantastic Four wasn't born with their powers. Nope. Spider-Man wasn't born with his powers. Mm-hmm. Captain America wasn't born with his powers. Thor is a guy; he doesn't count. Hulk wasn't born with his powers. So I always was confused growing up, but then I realized, okay, X-Men were born. Mutants were born with their abilities.
Mm-hmm.
The other heroes got their abilities some other way. So that's how I differentiate the two. And I always wonder why mutants were frowned upon, but people love Captain America, or people love whatever hero, Spider-Man. Actually, in the comics, people love or hate Spider-Man. So
because of the way he's a vigilante. I don't know. He could seem like a menace. He could seem like a threat, but he really isn't. He's just trying the best to be live a normal life as a person, but also protect the city. That's kind of difficult.
I look at it like this. Imagine being 15, 16 years old and all of a sudden have these abilities. You're going to make mistakes.
You can mess up a lot of things.
Facts, bro. Yeah.
Because you're still learning how to, you're still learning to be like an adult. or like growing in. You're still growing up. You're still growing up, but at the same time, you have to learn fast because now you have this responsibility to protect the city and the people that you care about. Make sure everyone's safe.
Yeah, bro. That's why I always liked Tom Holland Spider-Man because he was like the most realistic to me. He didn't have it figured out. Like, was it it's Tobey Maguire, right?
Tobey Maguire, yeah. He was the
like once he got his once he got his powers, he learned so fast and became the best version of Spider-Man in one movie. Andrew Garfield was a little different, but he still learned how to use his powers really in the first movie. But Tom Holland Spider-Man, when we first meet him, he still didn't really know how to use his powers. He didn't know how to be a superhero. He was a real street level hero until Tony Stark took him under his wing
and gave him the suit.
Even so, throughout every movie, he makes a ton of mistakes. And he's like, it's really like a teenager getting superpowers and trying their best to keep their personal life and their superhero life separate while keeping everybody safe. So that's why I like Tom Holland Spider-Man. I think it's the most realistic version of Spider-Man.
I feel like that starting from Homecoming to No Way Home, I feel like he was using his suit a lot in the first movie, and then as each movie progressed, he used the suit less and less, and he kind of like more tapped into being what Spider-Man is, and kind of more tapped in the role. Like actually started using his powers. I don't know, because like seriously, like in the first one, his suit, I felt like it was doing all the work. Like he was talking to the suit, and the suit was giving him pointers and tips. I was like, this ain't Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, he was a 15-year-old kid, man. That if it wasn't for the suit's AI, he probably would have been dead.
Yeah.
So that's why I appreciate Tom Holland Spider-Man. And for the people bullying him because he deleted social media, you guys are a piece of shit. Like that's fucked up.
Tom Holland.
He deleted social media because he was having a mental breakdown, and people are being assholes about it. Like, dude, let this man. He's still a human, bro. Like even though he's a superstar, he's human. So you assholes need to leave him alone. But I just like his version of Spider-Man. I'm not saying he's the best version. I just think he's the most realistic version, the most relatable version of Spider-Man that we've seen on the big screen.
No, I understand what you're saying. I wasn't saying that, I wasn't criticizing or anything.
I was just saying in general.
Just to me, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, I feel like there's some life lessons there when you're watching his Spider-Man. And I feel like when you're watching his movies, it's more like the romance between him and Mary Jane, but his movies are action packed.
All of them.
It's more focusing on him.
Yeah, each Spider-Man is great in their own way. Obviously, Toby has the nostalgic factor.
Yeah.
We were kids, when it came out, we're always going to look at him as Spider-Man. I feel bad for Andrew because Andrew was he was a really good Spider-Man. They did him dirty. He didn't deserve the criticism that people were giving him because he tried his best. I mean, it's not his fault the scripts were bad. And shout out to all of them, man. I'm glad No Way Home was able to bring them together, and we can actually celebrate all of the Spider-Man that we've had over the last 2 decades, and rather than comparing them and criticizing them. So,
shout out to Spider-Man, and I'm excited for what Spider-Man holds for in the future. So,
we'll see.
Yes, sir. So, moving right along, I know you had an interesting question for us tonight involving Yu Hakusho.
Yes, shout out to all the Yu Hakusho people out there. Shout out to all my Yu Hakusho buddies, friends on Reddit that give me a lot of motivation and content to push. You guys are great, and hopefully you guys continue to watch the videos. But yes, so I saw some. Well, I didn't really see it online. I thought of the question first. Like I wrote down like 50 different questions we can talk of content that we can use for Yu Hakusho. But one of the first ones I wanted to do in this series is ask the people, who do you believe the most underrated character in Yu Yu Hakusho is? And this is your opinion. It can be anyone you want. You know, everyone's going to have their own opinions, and as long as you can back it up with reasoning, it shouldn't be an issue. It is no right or wrong answer for this. But I feel like a lot of people are going to say one character, but I'm going to ask you first. One. Yeah.
I can think of a lot of characters, but yeah, that is an interesting one, and that's one you really have to think about. But I know we're thinking of the same person. I'm pretty sure we are.
Yeah,
but
we'll see.
We probably have different reasoning too. But you said you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go ahead, bro.
So I was trying to think of another character, but it stuck out too much in my mind. And I remember when you texted it to me. I actually was thinking about it before I went to bed. So my most underrated character is Kuwabara.
Yep. He kind of has to be, man.
It's Kuwabara, and we could go back and forth on the reasoning on this. For me, okay, yes, he's not the best fighter. He's not the most skilled fighter. Obviously not the most experienced, but his character brings more to the story, brings more to the plot, because he's the one pushing Yusuke. He's the one.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's the one holding Yusuke accountable. He's kind of like that. I'm not going to say like that. I feel like more of like a big brother to Yusuke. It's weird. Yeah. Big brother to Yusuke, kind of like helping him get his mind right and helping him to focus on certain things. But he's just along for the ride when he's with Yusuke. And it's his willpower that keeps him strong. It's his willpower that keeps him in the game and fighting. Now, sometimes in his mind, I know that he'll be taking on more than he knows what he can handle, but that doesn't stop him from really, fighting his best. But
he has unbelievable confidence,
bro. Yes.
I mean, honestly, all of the four main characters, they all are pretty confident. But Kuwabara stand out just because he's not as strong or skilled as a fighter as Yusuke. He's clearly not stronger than Kurama or Hiei. But his, like you said, his sure willpower, he lives by code, he lives by honor. And you have to respect that. You have to read. Kuwabara is not the smartest, he's not the most powerful, but when you really think about it, he's the only human of the four main characters.
Yes.
It's Genkai. Genkai is a human, right?
She's a human, but out of the four, that squad, he's the only pure-blooded human.
Yeah, he's the only. Yep, he's the only human, and he keeps up, even though he can't beat the big bad guys.
No,
he holds his own throughout every arc in Yu Yu Hakusho. And another reason I like him I chose him as the most underrated character is something you hit on. He pushes Yusuke. Think about it. When he thought, spoilers, but everyone knows
the show's been out for 30 years.
Yeah. So, but in a dark tournament, he pushes Yusuke to beat Toguro, and And then in the next arc, he loses his powers, but he gets them back to save his friends, right? But he also pushes Yusuke to another level when Sensui, I think that's his name, Sensui had him trapped. And even before that, when just every arc, he is the one that pushes Yusuke to the next level. Yeah. In pretty much every arc.
So I wanted to hit on this. So let's talk about his weapon, the Spirit Sword. So basically, the Spirit Sword is his spirit's energy. It's an extension of himself. And the way that it develops throughout the show. So the first time he uses the Spirit Sword, he doesn't know he could use it. It's basically like he had to channel it in like one of his first fights in the tournament Genkai had. Like one of the earlier episodes, he had to channel it through like a wooden stick to like get the sword to come out. And then later, over time, when he develops the sword, He can make it longer. He can make it like move around because it's an extension of his spirit energy. And then when he's fighting to go Elder Toguro in the end of the Dark Tournament, he actually can shoot out darts using the Spirit Sword. But the thing is this. I know it's obviously it's not as powerful as the Spirit Gun, but I believe it's almost on the same level as an A-class demon when he gets his final power-up, the one sword that could cut through dimensions.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
he pushed the whole narrative on that arc. I mean, they were trying to get Kuwabara that whole time. He was the plot. He was like the McGuffin or whatever they call it. I forgot what they call it. People are going to say I sound crazy, but he was the main. He was the plot point. Like he pushes the narrative or pushes the plot in that arc. But you're absolutely right. And this, it's obviously not stronger than the Spirit Gun.
No,
but I think it's more useful. And I think it's more because he can use it. He doesn't have a limit. As long as he has spirit energy, he can use it. Like Yusuke, throughout most of the series, only can use the Spirit Gun a handful of times.
He literally, it's like either the Spirit Gun or the shotgun or the Spirit Wave. Yeah.
Spirit Wave. But the Spirit Sword is like, can be utilized in so many different ways. And like you said, it's not as powerful, but I just think it's more useful. Yeah. For most of the time, he could
be creative and versatile with the Spirit Sword. And here's another point I like this. So Sensui calls it a Jigen-To. It's basically a dimension sword. He's able to cut through dimensions whenever he gets his final power up, and whenever he's able to cut through the Kakai barrier that's holding the demons away from the living world or the higher class demons. So think about this. If he had that sword when he fought Elder Toguro the first time,
he would have killed him.
He would have killed him, wiped him. Because the thing is this: him cutting him up, Elder Toguro wouldn't have been able to regenerate because now his body parts are in different dimensions. They're not just cut up, they're not just sliced up. They're in different space time. So now they can't connect to each other. They're different realities, so you can't do anything. Yeah.
And he's a human. That's the craziest part to me. This is why I like the characters in Yu Hakusho we already did this video compared to the Dragon Ball Z characters. And I know there's Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super GT, whatever. We compare Yu Hakusho to Dragon Ball Z because of their similar show as in shonen. Because Dragon Ball is a little different, but Dragon Ball Z and Yu Hakusho are comparable. But you look at characters like Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, eventually the humans just can't keep up anymore. But Kuwabara can hang with these guys, A-class, S-class level demons, and he's still holding his own. Holding his own is crazy. So that's why he has to be the most underrated character. When you think about everything he's done and his growth throughout the entire series and how he pushed Yusuke, how he eventually earned the respect of Hiei and Kurama, and with his sure willpower and his code that he sticks to and his honor. Even when he lost his powers and got it back when he was fighting that blonde kid, and even that kid went from working with Sensui to seeing how Kuwabara didn't even want to kill him. He respected Kuwabara as a man after that, and Kuwabara changes people's opinions about him. He may be a doofus. He's not the smartest guy in the room, but you have to appreciate his honor.
Yeah, that's true. And he will never go against his code. Like throughout the whole show, him like getting beat up, him like being faced with impossible odds, he will never change his code. And that's crazy. Yeah. That's honor. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but he low key may be the most, not the most powerful, but he may be the most important character throughout the series. Obviously, Yusuke is the protagonist, but like to reiterate. Fuck these words up. But yeah, to what we were trying to say, he pushes Yusuke to his full potential almost every arc.
Yep.
and Yusuke is the most protective over Kuwabara. And I love that relationship because he's very like out of all the anime relationships, I think those two are my favorite just because of Yusuke. So they fight like brothers, but Yusuke does not. Yusuke could beat him up, but he don't want anybody else is not allowed to beat Kuwabara up. So that I love that aspect of the relationship, and it's one of the better relationships in anime to me.
You know, it's another funny thing: the fact that he's in love with Hiei's sister. But the thing is, he doesn't know that he's the only one that doesn't know that's Hiei's sister. That's what makes that funny.
That idiot, he didn't finish watching the tape. And as soon as he saw her, because remember, he was saying, I'm about to give up on fighting. Yep. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to focus on school. And as soon as he saw that video and saw her, he's like, yeah, come on, let's go.
Screw it. Let's go do this. Yep.
Oh, man, that's funny. Yeah. And then it's funny because even Kurama hinted at it. He said, how much Kuwabara and Hiei argue. Kurama was like, just imagine one day they might be
in-laws.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is like EA, even though he's kind of shut off and whatever, he doesn't mind that Kuwabara, fancies Yukina because he knows that he's going to protect her while she's in living world, so he just has nothing to worry about.
Yeah, and like I said before, I like that respect that they developed for each other. Yeah, they like at beginning. He looked at Kuwabara like he's a piece of shit. Like he does nothing.
Like an idiot.
Yeah, but throughout the series, he continues to see like he actually cares about him and he actually respects him.
Yeah.
Kuwabara, he earns the respect of everyone he meets.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah, he has with each of the other members in his crew, he has a special like connection. Like, Yusuke obviously has that brotherly thing with Kurama. He's still like his friend in living world since Kurama's like taking the body of a human. So they're still like good friends. And then with EA, I mean, you were saying that his connection with Yukina, I mean, and the fact that EA trusts Kuwabara to protect Yukina. I mean, he has a special kind of like connection with all three of them. So that's actually an important part of the show as well.
He may be the glue to the group.
He is. He really is.
Without him, the group wouldn't work.
Because, and that's a good point that you hit on, because in the beginning of the Three Kings arc, when they're going off to Demon World and kind of like their separate ways to fight for one of the Three Kings, he was like, Kuwabara was like begging them to like, why can't you guys rethink this? You guys are crazy. You guys are going to be fighting each other down there. He was thinking like we had like a good thing going here. We were going to fight the good fight, all that stuff. But honestly, at that point, he realized he had to let them go do their own thing and kind of like find out who they were, find out, he owed it to him. He owed it to them. So,
yeah, he's the glue of the group. Like the group would not function right without him. I look at, because EA and Yusuke are so competitive.
Yeah.
Kurama is kind of laid back, but when he's super serious when it's time to go. But Kurama gives the group that balance, that perfect balance. Like throughout the Dark Tournament, even though he lost, he
lost a bunch of times.
He was the only one. Yeah, he's the only one who really lost. I know Kurama lost, but he killed the dude. But he's the only one who actually lost. But at the same time, he came through when he had to, or he gave the members of the team motivation to do better, to strive to be greater. So I always looked at him as the glue of the group, and that's why I believe he's the most underrated, unappreciated character. If you ask most people, he's not going to be most people's favorite character. I mean, honestly, I think most people are going to say either EA or Yusuke or Kurama. Most people will say those are their favorite character. You're not going to get too many people that's going to say Kuwabara is their favorite character, but he's the most important character.
Yeah, because Kuwabara, I mean, the reason why I think people wouldn't think he's as important or as like important as a fighter is the fact that no transformations. He's not super powerful. He really, the Spirit Sword, I mean, it's nice, but it's not as flashy as what some of the other ones have got going. But like you said,
and he's a human.
He's the most important. He probably is, definitely the most important character. He moves the story along, and he's the motivation and reason why the team is as strong as they are.
Yep. Can you think of any other anime character that has a similar role to the group as Kuwabara
or
does?
Kuwabara?
Yeah.
That holds the kind of like the glue and holds the team together. Ugh.
It's really hard to think about that in other shows. Like, they don't really have it, really. I mean, I'm sure the people are going to comment and tell us, but off the top of my head, I can't think of any.
Not in any shonen anime who are like kind of like that play a role like Kuwabara would play.
Because in Hunter x Hunter, they have a character that's pretty similar to him, but he isn't the glue of the group. He was gone for a lot of episodes, and we didn't care.
Honestly, no.
If Kuwabara went missing
he wasn't doing nothing. He wasn't hitting on nothing. He was just like, I'm just gonna be here, and then after I'm done here, I'm gonna leave and go do my own thing.
Yeah. If you took Kuwabara out the show for a while, we would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
we would feel like we're missing something.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, obviously he really wasn't in the Three Kings arc that much, but still, you would kind of think like, hey, he was still motivating. I don't know, just the fact that it was their memories of him, of him that were like motivating. I remember watching when Yusuke was fighting Yomi. It was Yusuke's memory of Kuwabara that was motivating him to fight. It was just the fact that he was always ringside.
Yep. So if any of you out here, that watch a lot of anime or read a lot of manga, y'all can let us know if there is another character similar to Kuwabara. And I'm talking about like popular shows. Like, obviously I watch a lot of anime that isn't super popular, but out of the top anime or the anime that you would compare to Yu Hakusho, such as Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, and so forth, is there a character similar to Kuwabara? Because there's always characters like Yusuke, there's always characters like Hiei, there's always characters like Kurama, but there's not too many characters that are like Kuwabara throughout anime. He may be one of a kind, really.
I think
for his purpose in the group.
I'm trying to think of the reason why Togashi made Kuwabara the way he did. Kind of like, I don't know, maybe there's like a deeper meaning there. Like, he didn't make him as powerful as the other ones. I mean, even though he did hold his own, I mean, eventually they surpassed him. I don't know, maybe. I feel like there's a meaning in there because there's meanings throughout the whole anime.
Yeah, there is. But yeah, that's a question that hopefully someone can answer for us, because honestly, I can't think of any characters that are similar to him. Like, they're always characters like Yusuke. You got Goku, Naruto. I always forget the buddy name for Bleach. I used to always sleep out of my head. But
Ichigo.
Yeah, Ichigo. They're always characters like him. They're always characters like Hiei, Sasuke, Vegeta. The list goes on. Old boy from the lightning dude. He's actually a combination of two characters from Hunter x Hunter: the blonde hair and Killua. Those are like if you took and split Hiei in half. Those they are very similar. But he's also like Kurama too. But
we're talking about Karapika.
Yeah, I can never say his name right. But
it's Karapika. He is kind of like, he's cutthroat. He's super cutthroat, and he's kind of cold. But I mean, it's understandable.
Yeah,
they killed his whole family. So
but there have not been too many characters like Kuwabara. So shout out to Kuwabara, man. You deserve the respect, and you are one of the biggest reasons why I really fell in love with the show. So shout out to him, man.
Yeah, I mean, he is super, super powerful as far as like being a human, and he does hold the show together.
He's the strongest human
in the show. Do you think about it? I think
is he? Go ahead. No, I was saying, do you think he's stronger than? Do you think he eventually becomes stronger than Genkai?
Oh well, the only human stronger than Genkai and Kuwabara is probably Sensui, but he's dead.
Oh yeah, he is a human, huh?
Yeah.
I forgot.
So you know what the crazy thing is? Someone made a YouTube video talking about some Yu Hakusho stuff. They said Sensui was the strongest opponent that not EA, but Yusuke had.
Yusuke.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just his power; it was his ability to manipulate people, his mental game.
Yes.
He played.
He was
He
a
just
smooth talker.
outsmarted Yusuke. I don't know if he was that much more powerful than Yusuke before Yusuke got his final form. I think their power level was pretty even, but I think he was a smarter. He was. I'm not going to, because Yusuke is even a genius at fighting.
Yeah.
I think Sensui was just he can manipulate. He can trick people. I think that
he
was
more adaptive in fighting. Yeah.
So yeah, that may be the case, because it's crazy that they made younger Toguro seem like the most powerful dude ever. Yusuke beat him, and we come to find out that he was just a B class demon. That's crazy. And he asked to be, when he won the Dark Tournament,
to be the strongest demon.
Be the most. Yeah, but to find out he's 2 tiers down from the strongest demon. So
you got to understand the fact that even like the higher ups, like the special spirit before team and whatever, freaking they didn't even know about S-class demons. They didn't even know that those existed, because I guess it was like
that's true.
It was a need to know thing. So I guess the fact that S-class demons existing at all was like a hush hush thing.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
but they pinned Toguro like he was invincible.
Yeah, right.
Whenever he beat Yusuke, just smoked his ass. But who's your favorite? Well, that's the question for another day. That's a question for another day.
Yeah.
We'll save that. We need more Yu Hakusho content, so I'll save that. But maybe I can say it, and then we could just talk about it later, about who's your favorite villain, and we can make an episode about that.
Yeah, we definitely got to do that. Definitely. Another question I did have, and we could probably make this another episode too, kind of like similar to, when I look at Sensui, I think of Thanos, so really a lot. But did Sensui ever do anything wrong, technically? Besides like just manipulate people? But you're not doing the wrongdoing if you're.
He's doing what he thought was right.
Exactly.
But at the same time, the dark tapes, is that what they're called?
It's called Chapter Black.
Chapter Black.
Yeah.
Is a one-sided story. Yeah. It's like it's similar to like somebody saying like, these group of people are just bad people. They don't do anything good, because you only see the bad things they do. That's like somebody. It's going into our next topic. Somebody like in space only watching the evil things humans have done, but not watching the good things that they've done. It's like you only see the evil, like kind of like Ultron looked at it. No, all you fuckers gotta go. That's how Ultron looked at it. Yeah, you guys never did anything good. All you do is war and destroy things. You gotta go.
Like you destroy the planet as a whole. Like you're not doing anything. Like humanity is just ravaging the planet, destroying, taking all the resources, and not giving anything back. Yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah, but they don't talk about. But then he skipped the part about, he skipped the chapters about Martin Luther King. He skipped the chapters about all the good people that that did good for the world. Einstein's, all those people who have done good for the world. It's like you ignore that part. You only look at the bad stuff. If you only look at the bad stuff, of course you're gonna take one side, because that's all you know. So yeah, I think I think he believed what he was doing was right. But at the same time, you cannot go into something like that from one perspective.
Yeah, I mean,
Kuwabara was the biggest example of why those tapes were wrong. Because even the what's his name? What's the blonde dude name again?
So his real name was Matari, but his code name was Seaman. But when I think about it too, is that the way he saw things was so like black and white. Like it was either good or evil. And then when he saw, humans torturing demons, everything went crazy for him. So he just saw humans as bad now, even though he was basically taught to protect humans from demons and just kill demons. I guess he finally got the chance to see that demons weren't bad. I don't know. I guess it's just, he saw like the shoe was on the other foot. Like he just saw things from a different perspective after he saw humans torturing demons, and he realized that the things that he thought to be true were actually not true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I understand his point, but it's kind of like good people can do bad things.
Yeah.
And bad people can do good things.
Yeah.
So no one in this world is completely good. No one in this world is pure evil. There are evil people.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's
evil
like
people can do good things.
It's like, think about this. A child who's taught to be racist their whole life until they actually come in contact with people who they've taught to hate, and they see that those people aren't bad. That could change your whole...
They aren't what your parents and grandparents told you they are.
They're not. They change your whole perspective because you're being involved with these people and you're coming in contact with them and you're learning that, hey, these people aren't bad people. And I've been taught lies my whole life.
Yeah. You aren't born racist.
No, you're not.
So as you're not, no one is born racist. So there are bad people in every group, but there are also good people in every group. So there are some people that make there are people that make black people look bad. There are people that make white people look bad. There are people that make Asian people look bad. There are groups, but a lot of the bad people, they aren't the majority.
No.
It's really the minority ruin it for the majority.
And the thing is whenever one member of said race does something crazy and it's put on display, it's dog and pony show.
Yeah.
See, this is why we don't trust those people. This is why we don't, hang around with people. This is their agenda. This is what they're about. Oh, no, that's just one person. You can't let one person represent everything. It doesn't make any sense, and that's ignorant.
It's unfortunate that the world is like that. It's unfortunate, but that's how it is.
Yep.
It's like pit bulls. Pit bulls got a bad reputation. Pit bulls are nanny dogs. Pit bulls are really good with kids. It's the owner. Just like kids, like you said, your example with children. Children are taught to be racist. Children are taught to be bad people. They aren't born that way. Like, no one, I don't believe. Now, maybe some people are born evil. Maybe some people just are crazy. But I believe most people are born. Kids are so, babies and children are innocent. They learn whatever their parents teach them.
Or whatever they're exposed to, or, like you're saying, no one's born evil. Maybe there's some type of traumatic event that happened to them coming along the way. But no one's born with, darkness inside.
Bad intentions.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're raised in a lot of people, like, it's circumstances. Like, I always use an example. Like, I grew up, I got a lot of friends from the hood, a lot of friends that grew up rough, right? I've always had my parents around to steer me in the right direction. But I got friends, you take them out that environment, they're some of the best people you'll ever meet. But it's in that environment, it's killed or be killed, survival of the fittest, literally. But if you take those people out of that environment, put them in a better situation, they're great people, bro. Yeah. So it's just, the world is, there has to be evil for there to be good. And it has to be good for there to be evil. So it's a balance, Yeah,
that's a good way to put it.
War is necessary. Yeah.
Good way to put it. Because if there was always good, then I don't know. What would happen if there was always good?
If everyone was good, I think it's almost impossible for everyone to be good, because it's survival of the fittest. You can even look at it, and like I always relate it to like animals. You look at lions. Lions kill other animals. They gotta eat. They're not doing it to be bad, but they gotta eat. But it's survival of the fittest. If the whole world was good, we kind of need conflict to keep things pushing, right? To keep technology going, to keep, advancing in life. You kind of need conflict.
Oh, you're saying, so if there wasn't a need to like have protection, if there wasn't a need to like, hunger, poverty, then we wouldn't have people like at the forefront fighting for those things to kind of like get rid of them.
Stagnate. Yeah, it'll stagnate. You know, the world can't be perfect.
Yeah.
If the world was perfect, it wouldn't be worth living in.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't separate. You know, it has to be a separation. Why should somebody who grinded, worked their butt off to become successful and then you got somebody that didn't do any of that? Why should they have the same outcome? I put the work in. I worked my ass off to get to where I'm at, and you didn't do anything, but we get the same outcome. That's just not that's not how things work.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. Yeah, I mean, if the world was all good, that'd honestly be boring. Like, you'd have no story. You'd have nothing to. You just wake up every day and live a perfect life, and there'd be no point. There'd be no point. It's weird to be happy all the time too.
Yeah, you have to have emotions, bro.
Yeah, like some of the best things have come from sadness, to be honest. Like music, some of the best music have come from sadness. Some of the best movies, the best stories, motivation. Like literally, some people have changed their whole lifestyles and motivated other people because of the way that they were feeling. They were like, well, I don't want other people to feel this way. I don't want other people to feel hurt. So let me find a way to change other people's perspective on life and kind of like motivate them. That way they can better themselves. That way they don't feel the way that I feel right now. So that's why it's, you kind of
need competition. You need competition and conflict to advance in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like even couples arguing, you need conflict to create a resolution. You can resolve. You can't resolve things without conflict. You can't agree on. No one's going to agree on everything, but it just life. If everyone was on the same page, bro, life wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. It just is what it is, bro. You need conflict. You need competition. Why would people want to strive to be great
if everyone was great?
All just going to get the same outcome.
Yep.
So that's how I look at it.
Noted.
Yeah.
I wish I had a good this or that I had looked up earlier, but I couldn't even think of anything. Like something interesting.
This or I don't know. Do I have anything else in this little notepad? I just write down randoms. Most of these notes are about Yu Hakusho, but let me see if I can find. Did you see that teacher they're trying to get fired because she's too thick?
I did see that. They were saying that she was distracting the students. Like the students are like little kids.
How is that distracting? What grade is she teaching? Like first grade, kindergarten?
I think she's teaching like kindergarten. I'm like, bro, I barely remember my freaking kindergarten teacher, what she looked like, or her body looked like.
I remember mine.
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah, I wasn't. I remember my kindergarten teacher's face. I remember her name and everything, but because we had a good relationship, because she knew my mom and all that. But yeah, bro, I don't understand why you can. Isn't that what is that called when you fire somebody because of something?
Discrimination.
Yeah, that's discrimination.
Mm-hmm.
If her body is natural,
mm-hmm.
I don't know if it is, but if it is, that's like saying you're going to fire a teacher for being too fat, or you're going to fire a teacher for being too skinny.
I mean, I looked at her Insta. it looks. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell these days, man. Man, it's so hard to tell these days.
Even so, right? Even if it was fake, are you going to say women that get their body enhanced don't deserve to work?
Yeah. She just wants to. She's not. She's not like doing anything sexually. She's just that's how her body looks.
Who do you think is trying to get her fired? You think these probably women?
It's probably someone in the faculty. People? Well, no.
It's probably other women.
It's probably
mothers.
Yeah, it probably is someone. Because obviously, I don't know why the dads would. It's probably someone's parent. It's like, this is
The
ridiculous.
dads probably love parent teacher conversations, boy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll go to the parent teacher
Like,
conversation.
oh, my son was acting up again. Well, guess I gotta go.
Oh, yeah,
Dang.
it's probably the mothers, bro. It's probably the mothers and other faculty members that are jealous. I think. Do you think it's jealousy, or do you think it's really about the kids?
It's not about the kids, man. You know it's not about. If those kids are probably doing great. I saw pictures, and those kids look like they're learning and having a good time.
Yeah, if your kid is distracted by a woman's body at that age,
You got problems.
you're the problem. You're the problem. You obviously raise your kid to understand that kind of stuff.
You want to know something?
No kids understand.
The parents are going to fight to get her fired. A teacher that's actually probably doing good and helping their child learn, but they're probably not going to work as hard to get a teacher fired who's probably has some issues or probably discriminatory, who probably like not very detrimental to the kids learning. They'll probably take their time on firing a person like that. I'm just saying.
I don't think it's that. That's a great point. I honestly don't think that you can fire somebody for
Their body
type.
No.
That's discrimination.
It is.
It's like, would they say, okay, I don't know the proper term. I think it's more distracting if a teacher was a little person. That would probably be more distracting to kids because sometimes, kids are a little too honest, immature. I think that would be more distracting, but I don't think the teacher deserves to get fired because of that.
I had another question about that little person thing, but we could get back. We'll circle back to that one. But honestly, like, you can't fire a teacher based on their body type. What if like the PE coach is like really buff and he's got a really nice body? You gonna fire him? That's his job, to be in shape. Teach your kids to be in shape too. How's it just? Yeah, even if it was distracting to the other kids, that's his job.
Bro, it's just an excuse.
It really is.
It's really just an excuse. You cannot fire someone for their body type. That's just not how life works. Because you be damn, it'd be outrage if one of the mothers that are trying to get her fired lost her job for being overweight. Like, you can't. She'll be pissed off. So it's not fair. You can't do that. Like, I don't. Distracting to who? They cannot be distracting to the kids.
There's no way.
Now, if she on OnlyFans and doing stuff like that, I can understand. But if she's just a normal teacher that just has a body like that, she can't do anything about it. You can't. This is her natural body. You can't. If that's not her natural body, even if it's not, who cares?
The kids are there to learn. They're not there to gawk at their teacher.
Yeah, but, like what the hell is a 6-year-old gonna do? What, look at her butt?
And 6-year-olds, I mean, they're too busy, looking at other things like cartoons and I guess nowadays like tablets and phones.
Yeah, bro.
But that small person thing kind of like brought up another question. I guess it could be our weird question for the night.
Yeah.
So we could talk it out. But do you think it's weird being attracted to a small person, aka a midget?
I don't think it's weird. You are attracted to who you're attracted to as long as they're an adult.
But here's the thing. That just when I think of it, and I'm not, discriminating towards anything. I'm just trying to think it out of my head. They're literally a small person. Like, as in, like, if you were to dress them up as a child and put them in a lineup of children, would you be able to, I guess, seek them out, like to discern them from the other kids?
Because they usually have adult. Their height may be the same, but they have adult features.
Some of them, I know they have like different features based on what kind of dwarfism they have or whatever, like different their body type or their legs or something like that. But I'm just saying, from a distance, It'd be weird, right?
For me personally, I mean, I've only seen, I've only personally seen little people. Their bodies are still like adults. Like the women still have breasts.
Yeah.
They have all that. So from my experience, I could differentiate. The men are always a little more built than a little boy would be. So I've always been able to tell the difference. But if there are little people out there that have similar bodies to little kids, that'd be a little different. I've personally never experienced that. If someone's attracted to that, to me, I would not judge a person on that. I wouldn't assume that they like children because they're dating a little person. I personally wouldn't assume that. I believe if you're dating a little person, you genuinely love them for who they are.
So you don't kink shame. I mean, I'm not saying
yeah, I wouldn't do that. Yeah,
I'm not saying like
I get the question though.
I'm not asking like is someone a pedophile straight up. I'm not asking that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like,
but they have
they're short, smaller. They're not the normal size of a regular adult. I understand they have adult features. I understand, still technically adult bodies. Their breasts and things of that. But it's just
what height would make them considered? I don't know if midget is the right term. I don't want to offend anyone, but what height? Because my sister's like 4'11", 4'10", but she looks like a grown woman. I think Kim Kardashian's 5 foot.
Well, it's based on their whatever their dwarfism is, because there's different. They have different, heights or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. To speak intelligently to it, we'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I don't know. I understand the question. Some people may have that. That what would the word be? Fetish? I don't know. I do not tolerate grown people being attracted to children. I don't want to tolerate that. But being attracted to a little person, I think it's different. I personally would not assume that. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise. So personally, no, I don't. I don't. But there may be some people out now. I'm sure there are people out there like that. I wouldn't put it past people. I'm sure there it exists. I'm sure it happens. But yeah, that's actually a good question. I've never thought about that. I just believe that.
Yeah, because I'm noticing like on Instagram, a lot more like people of that size are starting to like do like the modeling thing, kind of like I guess have OnlyFans as well. It's becoming interesting, but at the
some people might just like it, man.
They're adults. They're adults. It's if that's what you like, that's what you like. I mean, some of them actually. They have beautiful faces, and they dress normal.
I mean, yeah, they're normal. Yeah, they're normal people, man. Like it's
I'm just saying at first glance.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Yeah. To me, that's no different than somebody having a thing for overweight people or some people having a thing for super skinny, tall. That's to me, it's no different. Like. Growing up, before I met my wife, I would date really like one type of woman. I love light skinned women with curly hair. That was always my thing. Honestly, also I tend to, in my adult years, obviously I'm only 5'7", so I'm taller than the average woman, but I always had a thing for taller girls. I just always had a thing for them. So, me and my wife, about the same height. I wouldn't consider my wife a tall girl, but I've dated women that are 5'11", 6 foot, and I always had it, or even taller than that. I always had I wouldn't date like a 6'5" woman. It look crazy, but
I've always had like I guess whatever I was attracted to, it developed over time. It really did. Like I guess every part of my life, I guess I was just attracted to different type of women. But honestly, every woman looks good to me for the most part.
Yeah, I don't tend to judge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't discriminate.
I think it's great.
My only thing is, and this is with both men and women, I don't like when people. Nah, I'm not attracted to men, but I'm saying like, let me make that clear.
I was like, what's going on?
Let me make that clear. I know that sounded crazy. But what I'm saying is going to relate to both, because I don't want to just come off like I'm talking about overweight women. Yeah. So I don't want to come off like that. It's both men and women. My only thing is for people who are overweight and complain about it, but not do anything to change it. That's my only issue. You know, some things in life you can control. Some people can't control it, but that's the minority. The majority of overweight people can control it. My only thing is like, there's nothing wrong. It's something I've been attracted to some women that are bigger. I always thought think they were cute. But my problem is when you're overweight and complaining about it, that's when I'll be like, okay, no, that's not okay with me. Same thing for like dudes who are overweight and complain about it, or just people. I've always had an issue with people who complain about things they can control. Like growing up, I don't complain about my height. I never did because it's something I just couldn't control. I could control what I could control. I could control taking care of my face. I could control getting a haircut. I could control keeping my beard neat. What I'm saying is, I'm going into, because dwarfs, they can't control their height.
Well, yeah.
They can't, there's things they can't control. Now I'm going into, I guess, it's something that you said that made me go on this. I'm just saying, or you saying people have their different types.
Yeah.
Some dudes like bigger women.
Yeah.
There's no problem with that. My only problem is I always had a thing with people that there's something in their life that they could control but they complained about. With attractiveness, right? You got people out here that are overweight and complaining that they can't find a partner or just complaining about different things, but you can control that. You can like I was going into, I never could control my height, so I didn't complain about it. I made sure I focused on the things I could control. My confidence, my hygiene, stuff like that. So that's the only thing with dating. I find confidence in women attractive, and I'm sure women find confidence in men attractive.
Yeah.
And this is my overall point. I was able to date taller girls, and people will always wonder, like, you don't have a problem with her being taller than you? No, not really. And then they always liked me. Women always liked me. I think I'm a decent looking guy. I never thought I was the best looking guy in the world, but my confidence is, I'm just a confident person. I had to be. Being shorter, on the shorter side, I had to be confident, and I think that's what women liked in me. I didn't think women looked at me like, oh, some women, obviously I've been rejected because of my height, but I feel like the taller women that I have dated just like my confidence, bro. Like I just think that's what it was.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to ask is this, and I was thinking because a lot of people are bringing up this lately, like, does weight directly antiquate to like health?
It depends.
Yeah, because I've known some bigger people who are like not exactly like, they're not the healthiest, but they don't have a lot of health problems that obese people would have. If that makes any sense.
Some people are just naturally bigger. It just is what it is. Now I don't always go to the BMI. Is that what it is?
The BMI. The BMI that could be a different thing entirely, but yeah,
it could be deceiving. I do think most of the time it makes sense. I've experienced it myself. When I think at one point I was about 170. But my body couldn't, that weight on me, my body couldn't handle. That's why I think I developed high blood pressure, because I had to pump, had to make sure my heart was going in overdrive, making sure I could maintain that weight. That just wasn't a healthy weight for me. I looked great. You wouldn't think I was obese. But I looked really good, but my body, I don't think that was healthy for me to carry that weight. Some people's body, it just depends on your proportion. Some people's body can carry that weight well. Some people can't.
The thing is, like, it's kind of like tough on your organs. It's honestly like having that extra weight and basically kind of trying to sleep, and you snore, you have trouble breathing, moving
High blood
around,
pressure.
high blood pressure. Yeah, like it's tough on all of your like nervous system. It's tough on all that stuff because your body isn't used to carrying all that weight around
and maintaining that weight. That
honestly.
diet I had to go into to even keep that weight, because my body wasn't supposed to naturally be that size.
And eating all the time, basically, like everything goes through the liver. Everything you ingest goes through the liver. So your liver is like on overtime working. So that's another issue that you're gonna have. It's like your liver gets used and abused throughout, the course of your body and your course of your lifetime.
Yeah, so I think that's where that kind of answers your question about weight and health. It really just depends on your body type and what your body can handle.
What you're putting in your body.
Typically, people who are overweight or obese aren't healthy, not only because of the weight, because of their diet, because of their how often they exercise. I've helped women lose. I've helped women lose a lot of weight, making workout plans for them and diets. And I tell my wife too, and my mom, women, most of the time they gain weight is because of their diet, not because of anything else. If you change your diet, you will be surprised how much weight you lose.
And there's another thing too.
Changing.
A lot of people think that you could be skinny and that you're healthy. No, you could still have a trash diet and be skinny. That doesn't mean that you have have like a healthy lifestyle. That just means that you're not having any healthy weight on your body. You have to have some healthy body fat on you in order for the rest of your basically the rest of all the systems in your body to work properly. Like you have to have fat for your brain to work. Actually, if there isn't any fat in your body, because the brain tissue is made of mostly fat. So if you don't have any fat on your body, you're basically just going to be failing.
That's why nobody has 0% body fat.
No, it's impossible.
I think the lowest, what is it, 7 or 11?
And here's another thing too, like, and especially in women who try not to have like a lower body fat, you will get your period if you have a really low body fat. Like that's detrimental to your health, super detrimental.
Yeah, because your body needs to get rid of that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, the whole weight thing, the whole height thing, the whole back to the circle back into the little people. It all depends on your preference, man. Like I know people that I know dudes just go after big girls. Just like it's no different than women that only go after tall guys. It's just everyone has their preference. But what I learned as I became an adult, got older, that once I stopped going into relationships or going into dating looking for a specific preference. That's when things started to open up for me. I stopped having a preference, and it changed how my dating life went.
No, I completely.
I still had a standard though. I had a standard.
Yeah, I completely understand what you're saying. Like, and it's not just what you're attracted to physically; it's what you're attracted to emotionally. Honestly, like, I'm really understanding more and more that you have to like someone for their personality, how they make you feel, how they treat you, all of the above. Because at the end of the day, looks can change, and they don't last. They really don't last.
Looks don't last forever.
I know that is the first thing you see in the first initial part of being with someone. But honestly, you got to like them. You got to cherish them and love them beyond their looks. Because honestly, you get to a point where it just ain't gonna be there.
Exactly. You just hit something. Like, I was reading something about Scottie Pippen's ex-wife last night, and she's still a pretty attractive woman. But do you know her story? Basically, she was cheating on Scottie Pippen with Future and a bunch of different NBA players and rappers.
I knew about her at Future. Yeah.
Yeah, so she been with a couple of different guys and still living with Scottie Pippen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, this woman's 48. She left Scottie Pippen, had it made, she didn't have to worry about anything. And now she did an interview saying that how why she initially left Scotty, because he was too strict, or he had this control, that control. And she thought she can go out there and find women get options mixed up with men who just want to sleep with them. You don't really have options. Yeah, you have men that will sleep with you, but you don't have options. It's a difference. Now, some women do have options, but what her issue, what she ran into is now she can't find another husband. She's not going to find another husband like Scottie Pippen that's going to take care of her. It's not ever going to happen for her again.
You put that stigma on yourself. Yeah. You basically stamp easy on your forehead. I mean, you ain't going to find too many takers.
When you have it made like that, this is the problem with, I'm not going to say just women, but this is the problem with people. Yeah. You think the grass is greener on the other side until you get there. Yeah. You hooked up with all these rappers, all these rich men, but now you have the lawyer standards. You're not going to find a husband that you're not going to be with another rich man in a serious relationship. It's never going to happen. You're 48 years old. You have 4 kids. You were in a perfectly fine marriage, a man who's taking care of you with all this nonsense. And then one day you was like, I want to feel young again. So you out here sleeping with a bunch of different dudes, not thinking about how to make your sons feel. Could you imagine how her sons can't even walk around with pride anymore? People know your mother was a thought. That messes with people, man.
Wow.
Especially when it's on that big of a scale where Future is talking about. Scottie Pippen Jr. can't even listen to Future no more. I wouldn't be able to listen to Future no more.
Man, you can't even hang around people anymore. your friends are going to talk about it all the time. Man.
Yep. But she made this mistake, and she didn't think about the impact it was going to have on everyone else. She just wanted to feel young again, feel attractive, left a perfectly, I'm not going to say perfectly fine, know what was going on inside their house, but from an outside perspective, a perfectly fine marriage. She thought she was going to be able to find another man to settle down with on a level of a Scottie Pippen. And now she had just admitted she has to lower her standards. You're 48 years old, 4 kids, 4 kids, the whole world. Yeah. The whole world knows what you did. And why would a man of value want to be with you with what you just did to your ex-husband that you had a fine marriage? So, yeah, that's another. And that you just, when you said like looks fade and all that stuff and true love, that's where a lot of people run into the issues. They hurry up and because they think their marriage is boring. And like once you've been married for that long and been together with a person that long, if they're not beating you and abusing you, divorce is probably not the best idea. At that point, you're not going to find you built that life with that person, 30 plus years with that person. If you leave, it's not going to be the same. Yeah. Especially if you think you're going to get out there. Especially if you have a man like Scottie Pippen that has money and resources like him, and you think you're going to get another man to settle down with like him. No, you'll get men that want to sleep with you, but you're not going to get men that want to settle down with you. So you just remind me of that when you're talking about like really being in love with a person, emotionally, mentally connected, more than just looks. Eventually, like you said, looks are going to fade. And you're going to have to depend on just true love for that person. Every relationship is going to go through it. You shouldn't leave over something just so minuscule, so stupid, and think that you're going to find another person like that. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah. That was a lot to unpack.
Yeah. We just went on none of this. I mean, let the people know none of this. The only thing that was planned was the Yu Hakusho question.